106.3's Rod and Gabby. Follow CBR Wrapped on the free iHeartRadio app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Will you stay with me? Will you be my love?
Lagi bersama personally solvency agreement hebat tapi able kepada belasman in I believe kepada akibat.
With 4 medals. I'm not mad about it.
No, don't be mad about it. Celebrate it. It was absolutely fantastic. Australia's Jack Robinson has won silver in the men's surfing. We were telling you about that, weren't we? About an hour ago. Very exciting it was. Or was it? Because there weren't any waves.
It was angst-ridden, that's what it was.
Curly Vast, the Frenchman who grew up in Tahiti, got out early. He actually paddled to the break, got there first, got priority, got the first wave. It was a big barrel. He shot through it, got 9.5, and basically from that moment he was the gold medalist. The action will resume, in about 6 hours in Paris. There's a lot going on there and a lot more chances to come for Australians.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Chris Mitchell, there with our sport. So in the next day or so, Kamala Harris is going to reveal her pick as her running mate in the US presidential election. She, of course, is the current vice president and the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee, and she's been meeting with her short list of candidates at her home over the weekend. There are reports now that it's been narrowed down to 2 people. They're Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. So just how important is this decision by Ms. Harris and the party today? What have they got to do to get it right? Associate Professor of Political Science Christopher Devine is from the University of Dayton in Ohio, and he says Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro may be a front runner because his state is so important when it comes to electoral votes, when it comes time to vote in the election.
And we recently had a short list of about 6 candidates. We don't know for absolutely certain that the others are knocked off, but it sure appears now that it's Josh Shapiro and Tim Walz. And Josh Shapiro, he's someone who served for a long time in Pennsylvania politics, and I have to point out, this is probably the most important state, given the youth electoral college to determine the president of the United States, not just popular vote. And so it really could all come down to Pennsylvania, which has quite a few electoral votes and has been very competitive in recent elections. Now, Josh Shapiro was elected governor there 2 years ago in 2022. Prior to that, he served for 2 terms as Attorney General. He was in county government, in the state legislature, so he has quite a bit of experience, although not any federal or foreign policy experience, which could be a liability. But he's a very popular governor. His approval ratings right now are around 60%, which is quite good for governors these days. Now, Tim Walz is also a fairly popular governor. He's been elected twice, in his case, as governor of Minnesota, a less competitive state, but, somewhat competitive. And Tim Walz, prior to that, had served for 6 terms in the Congress, the U.S. House of Representatives, had leadership roles in terms of Veterans Affairs, and himself as a veteran has served for about a quarter century in the Army National Guard.
So given those characteristics, the characteristics you've just mentioned there, Christopher, as you say, one in particular, Josh Shapiro from a very crucial state, what would Kamala Harris be looking for in her VP pick? Is it about finding someone quite different to her to appeal to a broader population?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I would say that she really has 2 choices here. Not entirely different, but they're really strengths that differ between these 2 candidates. And I think the argument for Josh Shapiro has to be winning the Electoral College. He's someone who has accomplishments in his own right, don't get me wrong, but he does not have the most experience of governors you could choose from. I think what makes him stand out is the governor of Pennsylvania. If he were instead the governor of neighboring New Jersey, I don't think he'd be in the conversation. So that's a really important strategic element of this. And if she chooses Shapiro, I think it'll be for strategic reasons. Now, Tim Walz, my opinion, I think it's just clear, has a better resume. I was referencing before